now, I'm trying to go ahead and get this situated for everyone here. And let's see, where did our... Let's see. Think around here. Because they're heading towards this way. They're heading towards this way. The farther out, I know where that's for sure here. And let's see. Yeah, just check. Let's see. Okay, anyway, people. I'm on page 424. We had left off on chapter 2, The Riders of Rohan. So let's see what we have here. Let's go ahead and get to this. I'm going to read starting from the second paragraph on page 424. Oh. Okay, so at the bottom, they came with a strange suddenness on the grass of Rohan. It smelled like a green sea up to the very foot of the inland mule. The falling stream vanished into a deep growth of cresses and water plants, and they could hear it tinkling away in green tunnels down long, gentle slopes towards the fence of Entwash Vale far away. They seemed to have left winter clinging to the hills behind. Here, the air was softer and warmer, and faintly scented as if spring was already stirring and the sap was flowing again in herb and leaf. Legolas took a deep breath, like one that drinks a great draught after long thirst in barren places. Ah, the green smell, he said. It is better than much sleep. Let us run. Light feet may run swiftly here, said Aragorn. More swiftly, maybe, than iron-shod orcs. Now we have a chance to listen their lead. They went in single file, running like hounds on a strong scent, and an eager light was in their eyes. Nearly due west, the broad swath of the marching orcs tramped its ugly slot. The sweet grass of Rohan had been bruised and blackened as they passed. Presently, Aragorn gave a cry and turned aside. Stay, he shouted. Do not follow me yet. He ran quickly to the right, away from the main trail, and for for he had seen footprints that went that way, branching off from the others. The marks of small, unshod feet. These, however, did not go far before they were crossed by orc prints also coming out from the main trail behind and in front. And then they curved sharply back again and were lost in the trampling. At the furthest point, Aragorn stooped and picked up something from the grass, and then he ran back. Yes, he said, they are quite plain. The hobbit's footprints. Pippin's, I think. He is smaller than the others. And look at this. He held up a thing that glittered in the sunlight. It looked like the new open leaf of a beech tree, fair and strange in that treeless plain. The brooch of an elven cloak, cried Lugo and Gimli together. Not idly do the leaves of Lorien fall, said Aragorn. This did not drop by chance. It was cast away as a token to any that might follow. I think Pippin ran away from the trail for that purpose. Then he at least was alive, said Gimli, and he had the use of his wits and of his legs too. That is heartening. We do not pursue in vain. Let us hope that he did not pray too dearly for his boldness, said Legolas. Come, let us go on. The thought of those merry young folk, driven like cattle, burns my heart. The sun climbed to the moon and then rose slowly down the sky. Light clouds came up out of the sea in the distant south and were blown away upon the breeze. The sun sank. Shadows rose behind and reached out long arms out from the east. Still, the hunters held on. One day now had passed since Boromir fell, and the orcs were yet far ahead. No longer could any sight of them be seen in the level plains. As nightshade was closing about them, Aragorn halted. Only twice in the day's march had they rested for a brief while, and 12 leagues now lay between them and the eastern wall where they had stood at dawn. We have come at last to a hard choice, he said. Shall we rest by night, or shall we go on while our will and strength hold? Unless our enemies rest also, they will leave us far behind if we stay asleep, said Legolas. Surely even orcs must pause on the march, said Gimli. Seldom will orcs journey in the open under the sun. Yet these have done so, said Legolas. Certainly they will not rest by night. But if we walk by night, we cannot follow the trail, said Gimli. The trail is straight and turns either right nor left, as far as my eyes could see, said Legolas. Maybe I could lead you at guess in the darkness and hold to the line, said Aragorn. But if we strayed, or they turn aside, then when light came there might be long delay before the trail was found again. And there, is this also, said Gimli. Only by day can we see if any tracks lead away, if a prisoner should escape, or if one should be carried off eastward, say, to the great river towards Mordor. We, we might pass the signs and never know it. That true, said Aragorn, but if I read the signs back yonder, rightly the orcs of the White Hand prevail, and the whole company is now bound for Isengard. Their present course bears me out. Yet it would be rash to be sure of their counsels, said Gimli, and what of escape? In the dark, we should have passed the signs that led you to the breach. The orcs will be doubly on their guard since then, and the prisoners even warier, said Legolas. There will be no escape again if we do not contrive it. How that is to be done cannot be guessed, but first we must overtake them. And yet even I, dwarf of many journeys, and not the least hardy of my folk, cannot run all the way to Isengard without any pause, said Gimli. My heart burns me too, and I would have started sooner, but now I must rest a little to run the better. And if we rest, then the blind night is the time to do so. I said that it was a hard choice, said Aragorn. How shall we end this debate? You are our guide, said Gimli, and you are skilled in the chase, and you shall choose. My heart bids me to go on, said Legolas, but we must hold together. I will follow your counsel. You give the choice to an ill chooser, said Aragorn. Since we passed through the Argonath, my choices have gone amiss. He fell silent, gazing north and west into the gathering night for a long while. We will not walk in the dark, he said at length. The peril of missing the trail are signs of other coming and going seems to be greater. If the moon gave enough light, we would use it. But alas, he sets early and is yet young and pale. And tonight he is shrouded anyway, Gimli murmured. Would that lady have given us a light, such a gift as she gave to Frodo? It will be more needed where it is bestowed, said Aragorn. With him lies the true quest. Ours is but a small matter in the great deeds of this time. A vain pursuit from its beginning, maybe, which no choice of mine can mar or mend. Well, I have chosen. So let us use the time as best we may. He cast himself on the ground and fell at once into sleep. For he had not slept since the night under the shadow of Tolkien. Before dawn was in the sky, he woke and rose. Gimli was still deep in slumber, but Legolas was standing, gazing northwards into the darkness. Excuse me. Thoughtful and silent as a young tree in the windless night. They are far, far away, he said sadly, turning to Aragorn. I know in my heart that they have not rested this night. Only an eagle could overtake them now. Nonetheless, we will still follow as we may, said Aragorn. Stooping, he roused the dwarf. Come, we must go, he said. The scent is growing cold. But it is still dark, said Gimli. Even Legolas on a hilltop could not see them till the sun is up. I fear that they have passed beyond my sight from hill or plain, under moon or sun, said Legolas. Where sight fails, the earth may bring us rumor, said Aragorn. The land was grown under their hated feet. He stretched himself upon the ground with his ear pressed against his chair. He lay there, motionless, for a long time. For so long a time, and he lay there motionless for so long a time that Gimli wondered if he had swooned or fallen asleep again. Dawn came glimmering, and slowly a gray light grew about them. At last he rose, and now his friends could see his face. It was pale and drawn, and his look was troubled. The rumor of the earth is dim and confused, he said. Nothing walks upon it for many miles about us. Faint and far are the feet of our enemies, but loud are the hoofs of the horses. It comes to my mind that I heard them, even as I lay on the ground asleep, and they troubled my dreams. Horses galloping, passing in the west. But now they are drawing ever further from us, riding northward. I wonder what is happening in this land. Let us go, said Legolas. So the third day of the pursuit began. During all its long hours of cloud and fitful sun, they hardly paused. No striding, no running, as if no weariness could quench the fire that burned them. They seldom spoke. Over the wide solitude they passed, and their elfin cloaks faded against the background of the gray-green fields. Even in the cool sunlight of midday, few but elfish eyes would have marked them until they were close at hand. Often in their hearts they thanked the Lady of Lorien for the gift of Limbus. For they could eat of it and find new strength even as they ran. All day the track of the enemies had led, led straight on, going northwest without a break or turn. As once began, the day wore its end. They came to long treeless slopes, where the land rose, swelling up towards a line of low, humpbacked downs ahead. The orc trail grew fainter as it bent north towards them. Um, okay, where the land rose, swelling up towards a line of low humpback downs ahead. The orc trail grew fainter as it bent north towards them, for the ground became harder and the grass shorter. Far away from the left, the river it washed round a silver thread and a green floor. No moving thing could be seen. Often Aragorn wondered why they saw no sign of beast or man. The dwellings of the Rohirrim were, for the most part, many leagues away to the south. Under the wooded eaves of the white mountains, now hid in mist and cloud. Yet the horse lords had formerly kept many herds and studs in the eastern. This easterly region of the realm, and there the herdsmen had wandered much, living in camp and tent, even in winter time. But now all the land was empty, and there was a silence that did not seem to be the quiet of peace. At dusk they halted again. Now twice, 12 leagues they had passed over the plains of Rohan, and the wall of the Emil was lost in the shadows of the east. The young moon was glimmering in a misty sky, but it gave small light and the stars were veiled. Now do I most bunch a time of rest and or any heart in the chase. Said Legolas, the orcs have run before us as if the very lips of Sauron were behind them. I fear they have already reached the forest and the dark hills, and even now are passing to the shadows of trees. Gimli ground his teeth. This is a bitter end to our hope and to all our toil, he said. To hope, maybe, but not to toil, said Aragorn. We shall not turn back here. Yet I am weary. He gazed back along the way that they had come towards the night gathering in the east. There is something strange at work in this land. I distrust the silence. I distrust even the pale moon. The stars are faint, and I am weary as I seldom been before. Weary as no ranger should be with clear trail to follow. There is some will that lends speed to our foes and sets an unseen barrier before us, a weariness that is in the heart more than in the limb. Truly, said Legolas, that I have known since first we came down from Immoral for the wheel is not behind us, but before us. He pointed away over the land of Rohan and to the darkling west under the sickle moon. Saruman, wanted Aragorn, but he shall not turn his back. How? We must once more, for see, even the moon is falling into the gathering cloud, but Norn lies a road between down and thin when day returns. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop here. Uh, I'll finish this one. Hold on. As before, Legolas was first afoot, if indeed he had ever slept. Awake, awake, he cried. It is a red dawn. Strange things await us by the eaves of the forest. Good or evil, I do not know, but we are called. Awake! The others sprang up, and almost at once they set off again. Slowly the downs drew near, but it was still an hour before noon when they reached them. Green slopes rising to bare ridges that ran in a line straight towards the north. At their feet, the ground was dry and the turf short, but a long strip of sunken land, some 10 miles wide, lay between them, and the river wandering deep in dim thickets of reed and rush. Just to the west of the southernmost slope, there was a great ring where the turf had been torn and beaten by many trampling feet. From it, the trail ran out again, turning north along the dry skirts of the hills. Aragorn halted and examined the tracks closely. They rested here for a while, he said. Even the outward trail is already old. I fear that your heart spoke truly, Legolas. It is thrice 12 hours, I guess, since the orcs stood where we now stand. If they held to their pace, then at sundown yesterday they would have reached the borders of Fangorn. I don't see it on here. What is it? Yes. No, I don't see it. Well, this Rohan, this is Gondor. Yeah, I can see nothing away north or west, but grass dwindling into the mist, said Gimli. Could we see the forest if we climb the hills? It is still far away, said Aragorn. If I remember rightly, these downs run 8 leagues or more to the north, and then northwest to the issuing of the Entwash. There lies still a wide land, another 15 leagues it may be. Well, let us go on, said Gimli. My legs must forget the miles. They would be more willing if my heart were less heavy. Okay. So okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop. Um, there's a lot of climax building going on that I see here, and that because people need to closely pay attention to what is happening. Is that they're getting near, right? They're getting near to where the orcs are, and because it's going to be splitting. I think in the there's a lot to cover. I'm going to tell you, it's not over yet. It's a lot to cover in this chapter. It's a very long chapter, but I want to tell you. I'm going to go ahead and take a break now, and then I'm going to go. I'll see how I feel, but I may go in and I may go. I don't know if I want to. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let this go for now, and then I'm gonna go ahead and see. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and let everyone discuss what is about to happen and possibly where they're at now. So they were saying that they're well. Let's see where the turf happened from. Just to the west of the southernmost slope, there was a great ring. I don't think they went that far. As I think the hobbits are going to be a little bit farther inward. I think my prediction is that they are going to go towards this way, right? They're going to go towards this way, and then they're going to head off of here, and they're going to go. Are they cut through Mule and head into the dark marshes? I think that's where they're going to go to instead of cutting away through here to Minas Tirith. They're probably going towards this way. Towards this way. I think so. But other than that, anyway, yeah, I think they're going to go. The hobbits are going to go this way, and I think they're going more this way. I think they are. Um, maybe still. I'm going to go this way. But that's my prediction. Because we got two things happening at the same time. And I think that's what's going on. So, these ladies are doing this way. Because they are going this way. They're going this way toward the dead marshes. Because there's an enemy mill right here. And I think that's what they're trying to say is that they're trying to cut through here. Oh yeah. So I don't know why I see. But anyway, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. Y'all can make your own predictions on where because remember you have to get your Gandalf PSs on because they're going to this is like two separate things that are going on. You have the hobbits and then you have the other individuals in the group. They were in the group because they split. Remember? But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna leave it to y'all to figure that out. Okay. Uh, take care. Stay safe.